What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I had to talk about this particular fight. I haven't heard much action just in the YTBC, really many people talking about it. There's been some coverage on a couple of the big channels regarding this fight, but I want to talk about it because I think it's a good fight, and that's Mike Perez versus Bryant Jennings. Now, this is what I love about boxing. Like, fuck the Danny Garcia versus Rod Salka we know is a mismatch, or Lamont Peterson and Santana, Adrian Broner and Emmanuel Taylor, possibly Spatafor or whatever. I mean, this to me is a fight that I really enjoy, and it's truly a 50-50 fight. Both guys are heavyweight, so anytime you're a heavyweight in general, one punch can really change everything. I mean, in boxing, one punch can change everything in the course of events, but especially in the heavyweight division because these dudes are strong. These are grown ass men who can crack. And I really like this fight, and I think I commend Bryant Jennings for taking this type of fight early on in his career. Like you've seen other guys, even Deontay Wilder, and I like Wilder a lot, but he's 31 fights in his professional career. He has Olympic background, and I can't really say that he's fighting somebody or he's fought someone who has looked like Mike Perez and kind of brings and exude what Mike Perez does at this particular point of his career. So that's the thing. Deontay Wilder, he's knocking out the Audley Harrisons and people like that. But I can't really say he's fighting somebody who's in prime, if you will, or just looking really, really good in recent memory. And I commend Bryant Jennings for taking on a tall order like that. So it's a good fight. I'm going to give my prediction, break it down, give you guys what I think happens. And I really am picking Bryant Jennings via decision. I think Bryant Jennings has the momentum. I really liked how Bryant Jennings in his last fight with Spilka, he just took his time with it. It was on HBO. I believe it was his first televised HBO performance. So the world had the opportunity to see Bryant Jennings and what he's made of. He does have an amateur background, and he took his time. He didn't really rush. He put the puzzle pieces together, and it was actually it was a 10 rounder, the very last round. That's where he was able to get his opponent out of there. So I like when fighters show me that composure because some people get overexcited and real anxious and stuff. And when you do that, sometimes that's when you become more vulnerable and you set yourself up to get countered or knocked out because you're getting overzealous or whatnot. So I really appreciate that about Bryant Jennings' fight game. I think he's coming in with a lot of confidence, especially after his last performance. He's like 6'2", 6'3", and he's every bit of that. He looks like a big dude. So he has the height and reach advantage over Mike Perez. But what makes this interesting is Mike Perez is a Cuban fighter, and we know the Cuban school of boxing. We know Cuban fighters are generally slick, and they come from a good background, a good schooling, a very disciplined schooling, and he fights. It's like a cross between like a normal Cuban fighter. I hate to say normal, but like let's say it's like a combination of Laura with more Gamboa to it. You know what I'm saying? I hate to stereotype. I'm not trying to stereotype Cuban fighters, but he doesn't fight all the way slick, but he doesn't fight super defensive to the point where he doesn't have an offense. So he's kind of somewhere in the middle. Mike Perez, he really impressed me with his fight against Magomed Abdusalamov, and it's very unfortunate what happened to him. He got placed in the hospital and went under a coma. He had a coma. So I hope he's doing well. Hope he's recovering well from that. I haven't really heard any recent updates, but he looked good in that fight, and I hate to use that as a catalyst based on what happened. But another reason why I'm picking against Mike Perez is his last fight. He didn't really impress. Like it was weird. I don't know if possibly what happened in the Magomed fight like influenced him because you know what I mean. When you beat up on somebody and then they go through what Mago went through, and you know what I mean, a coma and being hospitalized. That's a lot. That's heavy. You know what I mean? Because these guys want to win, and you don't want to beat the shit out of somebody to the point like these guys have hearts. You know what I mean? You don't want to beat the shit out of someone until they die. Sergey Kovalev, he's another person. He actually fought someone and killed them. Like they died later on, like in the hospital or something. He killed them, and that weighed heavy on him. And I believe he gave his whole purse to that victim's family. the guy he killed. So it's not a fun feeling to, you know what I mean, to, like I said, everyone wants to win, but you don't want to, at what cost? You don't want to permanently disable or hurt your opponent. You know what I mean? Like I said, these guys have families themselves. They know how it goes, and they have a heart. So Emil Griffin, another guy who killed somebody in the ring. It's just it's crazy what happened. So I don't know. Maybe that played on Mike Perez in his last fight with Takma or whatever the dude's name was, Carlos, and he wasn't his full self. But he scored a draw, and he just didn't impress me. He looked like it was a night and day from fight A to fight B. So that's another reason I'm picking against Mike Perez. But I still respect Mike Perez, and I still realize he's a heavyweight. He's slick, and he could make this interesting. And I like to see this early because we're going to really see where both fighters' chins are at. They're both guys with respectable power. I'm not going to say they have Mike Tyson freakish power, but they definitely have respectable heavyweight power, and they can get your attention. So that's ultimately, they're like, bottom line, you cannot be a successful heavyweight without a chin. Ask Michael Moore, ask Seth Mitchell. Like Seth Mitchell, they were saying, oh, it's the football player who turned his whole life around and got into football. He just doesn't have the chin. Like, and I like Seth Mitchell. Like, I liked his, like, hearing him talk and stuff. He seemed like a humble dude. That's why you don't hear from him, because he doesn't have a chin. He doesn't have the chin for this, to be in there with these big punchers, and he doesn't have the amateur background. It's just not a good look. Michael Moore, another person, he was handily whooping George Foreman, and then he got caught by an old Foreman and just destroyed. He was just out. You know what I'm saying? So David Tua blasted him out of this planet. Shit like that. So to be a successful heavyweight, you definitely have to have some type of chin to endure them shots. You know what I'm saying? Heavyweight division, Evander Holyfield comes to mind. That motherfucker had a chin. He had a supreme chin. So shout out to Holyfield, real deal. So I'm just anxious to see the heavyweight division come back to the forefront, to the point where we see some big heavyweight fights. Like, when's the last time you seen a main event heavyweight fight? Back in the day, you used to have like Tommy Morrison versus so-and-so, and you had Ray Mercer and just different guys, Tyson, of course. And there was a lot of action. The David Tuas, like, it was always fun to watch David Tua, even if he was in there with limited competition, because you know you might see a crazy left hook, a crazy knockout, or something like that. So hopefully we get some heavyweight champions, and then this fight is going to prove a lot, and hopefully we can start weeding some of these heavyweights out, like see who's really cut for this. Hopefully Deontay Wilder fights Bermane Stiverne, and then the winner of this fight, and then they fight each other, and then the winner of that gets Klitschko. Like, I love it, and I think that sounds good. You also have Tyson Fury, who's fighting tomorrow as well, and he's fighting a replacement opponent because his opponent, Derek Chisora, suddenly became injured. So it's unfortunate for Tyson Fury. I made a video talking about that. It's just fucked up to prepare and train for 6-8 weeks or whatever for a guy, and then you don't even get the opportunity to fight him or showcase what you've been doing. And it looked like he was in great shape. So his opponent might be in trouble if he takes that type of rage into the ring with him. You know what I mean? Just David Haye bailing on him, Derek Chisora bailing on him. And I mean, if you're hurt, you're hurt, but it's just mighty convenient. Like, why are you doing heavy sparring to the point where you get this hurt a week before the fight? It's just bad. You should have probably been wrapping up your training camp, that kind of stuff. So, like I said, I'm anxious to see the heavyweight division come back into the limelight where we get some good competitive heavyweight fights. Fuck the bullshit. I want to see heart. I want to see chins. I want to see redemption. Like when Lennox Lewis was ill prepared and he fought Hasim Rahman and he got his shit rocked and knocked out, and then he came back correct and blasted Hasim Rahman. That's the type of shit that I want to see. James Toney, John Ruiz, those types of fights where it's just like, okay, I'm into this. You know what I mean? It's fun to watch. So I want to see the heavyweight division fun again. The Mike Tyson. I got to find that. I had the Tysons. They had an ESPN like Tyson highlight DVD that I bought. That was my shit. So I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. I love to watch it. And the Customato always told me. You remember when Mike Tyson was crying on that documentary? He's like, and then after I felt bad for him when he started crying. Anyway, Tyson, my dude, fuck y'all. Make sure you like the video. Let me know what you guys think. Bryant Jennings versus Mike Perez. Who are you taking? Who are you picking? Are you going to be live at the fight? Let me know something. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.